Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to paint this Scottish landscape. So I start off by taping my paper down to my desk. This is to prevent any buckling. So this also creates really nice lines and edges at the end when you pull the tape off. Just wait and see. I then proceed to sketch out the basic outline of the landscape. So I wanted a rolling hill in the front. I wanted some cliffs in the background and a cloudy sky. So in this sky I want the closest sky to be really, really blue, and then I want some clouds in the distance, which is rain heavy, because if you go to Scotland you'll notice two things in particular when it comes to the weather and the landscape. One is that it's really green, and after a few days you'll understand why it's green. It's because it rains a lot. That's just how it is. In Scotland it rains. It's still beautiful, and I will definitely advise anyone to go there and experience the Scottish landscape and the nice people. It's very nice. So as I go along here with this painting, the clouds that I put in the beginning, I put some grey in them to indicate that they're loaded with water, and they're ready to let that water go at any point. But they're in the distance, so you don't have to worry about that now. And I wanted this to be in the day, and so you see the daylight and the really nice clear blue sky. And I also wanted some really nice almost turquoise water, because the water can be really nice and clear, and I just wanted to bring all of these elements into this painting. Now, I mentioned that Scotland is green. It's very green, and it's sort of like this sap green, so don't worry, the colours in the foreground will change. I'm now going over the first cliff with some sap green to get the layer going. And I'm also preparing the foreground, the rolling hill, to sort of stipple in some grassy texture with some nice browns and greens and highlights and shadows, and to create some playful depth in the picture. I wanted also to bring some of the sunlight in. I wanted the sun to sort of hit the left-hand side of the rolling hill and make it a bit more yellow, a bit more glowing. And yeah, so I move on to this first cliff, and I go in with some brown, because the funny thing about the cliffs in Scotland is that they're very layered. It's layers of rock and grass, because the rock is eroding and the grass kind of gets little shelves to hang on to and grow on, and it just creates these nice lines of colourful cliffs, and it's wonderful. So I've gone over with some brown and some green, and I'll also add some more dark, a bit of black and grey, and some cracks and some more texture into the cliffs and the shoreline. I also spatter on some black paint to make a bit of interest in the both the foreground and middle ground. And sometimes these cliffs have got overhangs which create these really dark layers in the rock because they're just in the shadow, and I wanted to bring those forward as well. And it's just funny how it goes from cliff, and they can be really steep cliffs, and then they just go on to these flat green lush fields on top. It's really weird for me, but it's wonderful. It's weird and wonderful. Now I'm just going over with some white gouache and some highlights, painted on some sheep, and just some reflections in the water, and that's the painting done. After I clean up these clouds, that is. So I'm reviving this cloud I had a bit earlier. But yeah, that is the painting all complete, and this is one of my favorite steps. I promised you a straight edge, and I like to think that I keep my promises. So here it is. You see how nice it is when I pull off that yellow tape and you can see the colors truly. And the yellow kind of messes with your color perception a little bit, which makes it so nice when it's just peeled off and you can see it in all its glory. This is the finished painting. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.